This is WENY HD News.
Thanks for clicking on the webcast. I'm Laura Queso. Here's the latest from WENY News and the Star Gazette. New details this morning about the Painted Post teenager who was killed on I-86. We've now learned his night started at an underage drinking party. Well, now a teenager and 34-year-old mother are charged in connection to William Warwick's death. 16-year-old Will Warwick was walking on I-86 in the town of Campbell back on October 20th and hit by a tractor trailer. Investigators say Warwick was at a Painted Post party with about 30 students from Corning East and Corning West High School. According to police, there was underage drinking and marijuana there. Police say the teen charged hosted the party at her house while her mom was at work. Now, the only adult at the party was Kelly Campbell. You see her here. She was there with her teenage daughter. Police say the 34-year-old mother provided alcohol to some of the children. Campbell was arrested and charged with unlawful dealing with a child and endangering the welfare of a child. According to police, Warwick was intoxicated when he left that party. He was killed by a tractor trailer about a half-mile west of exit 42. The driver wasn't issued a ticket or charged. And the driver of a pickup truck was injured after crashing his truck into a house in Ithaca Saturday. These are pictures provided by the Ithaca Fire Department. Officials there say the driver lost control of his truck and crashed into a house at 142 South Aurora Street. The driver was taken to Robert Packer Hospital. No word on his condition this morning. We do know that the house was damaged and the person living inside had to leave. The car also has significant damage. New York is creating the nation's first state gasoline reserve to prevent shortages during disasters. Governor Andrew Cuomo says the reserve will hold 3 million gallons of fuel for drivers and first responders. The pilot program costs about $10 million. Now, this comes after Hurricane Sandy's gas shortage, which caused long lines at gas stations and left emergency responders without enough fuel. The reserve will use capacity owned by Northville Industries. That's on Long Island. And more on Superstorm Sandy. Nearly a year after being ripped apart, the Long Beach Boardwalk is officially reopened in Long Beach, New York. The 2.2-mile-long boardwalk reopened Saturday morning. Governor Cuomo and Senator Chuck Schumer were there for the big ribbon cutting. The new boardwalk is made with sound materials, sustainable hardwood and concrete. It was built to withstand the brunt of any future storms. Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. And lastly, on a good note, gas prices, they're continuing to fall. Prices are holding steady near a 9-month low, and the savings for consumers could last well into next year. In at least 16 states, the average price of a gallon of regular fell below the $3 mark. Nationally, though, the average is $3.30. In New York and Pennsylvania, we aren't below that $3 mark either. But falling, as gas prices are falling, it's good news for consumers. For every penny a gallon of gas drops, consumers get an additional $4 million a day in spending power. Over the course of the year, that equals $1.4 billion in spending, going towards other areas of consumer spending and, of course, not people's gas tanks. Good news there. And now here's meteorologist John Hickey with today's forecast and what's it going to look like for Halloween. John.
Thanks, Laura. Pretty interesting stat there, though. Every penny is $4 million. Oh, that's awesome. Looks like you might be able to spend some of that money trying to enjoy the outdoors the next couple of days, as it'll be mainly dry. It just will be a little bit cool, especially we got a real cold morning coming up for tomorrow. Lows well down into the 20s, one of the coldest starts that we've had since back in the wintertime. It does turn a little bit warmer later on this week. Highs actually come above averages for the first time in a little bit, but yeah, that Halloween forecast does look a little wet at this point for the trick-or-treaters. The indoor trick-or-treat might actually end up being a little bit of a better call. So future track for today, we started off with your morning hours, mainly clear sky. We'll see some thickening cloud though around midday. There is a cold front back to the west that'll come through. Mainly all it does is increase our cloud cover. Don't want to rule out a spot shower with that though. Winds turn around to the northeast tonight. That's key, keeping us mainly clear, and that's what will allow temperatures to drop off into the low 20s. So tomorrow morning, that frost on your windshield will be extra thick. It's going to take you a while to scrape it off, so you want to warm up your car a bit too if you get an early start tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, though, temperatures end up pretty similar to what they will today, generally in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees or so. Wednesday, quick moving storm comes through, brief shower, but the steadier rain lies in wait as we look ahead towards the end of the month here. First warning 7-day forecast, Halloween night looks a little wet, and that could continue into Friday too. And then this weekend, you get that extra hour of sleep. Don't forget to fall back your clock 1 hour before you go to bed Saturday night. Eastern Standard Time starts on Sunday. That's your forecast. Here's Laura.
All right, thank you so much, John, for the latest news, weather, and sports. Be sure to watch WENY News at our noon hour, also 5:30, 6, and 11. And don't forget to pick up a copy of today's Star Gazette. I'm Laura Queso. Have a great one.